Cameron's release of what he claims to be the true audio, which is directed directly at Chrissy Lampkin, has completely upended the Dipset world. The internet is ablaze. The fans are going crazy. Additionally, Jim Jones' response has everyone claiming that this is the most insane person they have ever seen. When Cayman went live, what should have been just another typical day in the rap industry became a permitted cultural earthquake, implying he had evidence Chrissy had been committing crimes behind Jim's back for years. A few hours later, muffled but sufficiently clear audio emerged to ignite the internet. It has voices that are purported to be Chrissy's speaking unexpected things, which feeds backroom and betrayal concerns, agreements that go well beyond hip-hop and romance. Already, Jim Jones' meltdown and Chrissy's exposure are trending globally. Every moment of the tape is being examined by fans. Celebrities are responding with mysterious reactions, and the Dipset legacy itself are being closely examined. Insiders are speaking about the most bizarre aspect. This is only the first tape. The others have the potential to permanently alter our perceptions of Jim, Cray, and Cam. When Cameron, the unrepentant Dipset icon notorious for stirring the pot, released what he dubbed the actual audio, the hip-hop world awoke to anarchy. Furthermore, the objective this time wasn't only a rival or fellow rapper. Jim Jones's long-term lover Chrissy Lampkin was the focal point of some of the most famous dramas in hip-hop and love. What began as a mysterious tease escalated into a full-fledged conflagration, including dives at reality TV and history, burden, and years of gossip into the public eye. Tens of thousands of people watched the late-night Instagram live as Cameron grinned into the camera while drinking from a red cup. He wasted no time. "Y'all keep talking like I don't know what's been going on," he remarked boldly. "However, I have evidence. Actual sound. And you say, look at Chrissy." After hearing this, very different. The comments went viral right away. What audio drop? It killa, not Chrissy. Shortly after, snippets of on Twitter, many were talking about what Cam had said. Fans made wild guesses. Was this an internal Dipset betrayal, infidelity, or money issue? The excitement reached a fever pitch when Cam abruptly stopped the live stream, stated, "Y'all ain't ready for the whole thing yet." However, the alleged Rio tape had emerged by morning. It was a short, muted recording less than 2 minutes, but it was clear enough to ignite the internet. There, a voice claimed according to Chrissy, the statement was like dynamite. "Jim don't need to know everything. Half the time he don't even ask. As long as the money moving, he happy." It was repeated by fans on loop, breaking down each syllable. Chrissy acknowledged that she had been acting behind Jim's back. Was she referring to wealth, allegiance, or something more profound? The harm was immediate, regardless of the situation. The hashtag Chrissy went viral on Twitter, and TikTok makers hurried to post traumatic reenactments of the leaked statement. "Like a pawn to Jim," she stated it. According to one user, "That's cold." Posts with the title, "Cam wasn't lying. Chrissy really said this." The reactions were divided but brutal, filled Instagram gossip sites, and several admirers viciously dragged Chrissy, accused her of abusing Jim to gain influence and authority. Some backed her, claiming that Cam might have invented, altered, or spliced the audio to stir things up. Regardless of the stance that supporters adopted, however, the buzz was invincible. Then came Jim Jones's response. A statement was not posted by him. He declined to participate in an interview. It was crazy when he went live. Bloodshot eyes, voice quivering with incredulity and rage. Jim let loose on all onlookers. "You guys? Think anything. I will wait for someone to attempt to destroy my family. Man, does Cam know what he's doing? He is skilled at attracting attention." However, right here, things went too far. Before he could read them, the comments began to pour in. Jim warmed far. He is aware that it is real. He would laugh rather than cry if it were phony. Jim, however, wasn't giggling. As he stood up for Chrissy, his voice cracked. "My girlfriend is that. My life mate is it. Do you guys truly believe she's playing me out here? If you believe Cam knows more about my house than I do, you're stupid." He shook his head, clearly annoyed. Before the live stream was abruptly cut off, fans were in disbelief. Jim appeared, devastated and more distraught than ever in the video, which quickly went viral. His breakdown was seen by some as evidence that the sound had triggered a reaction. Others saw it as evidence that he will always be there for Chrissy. The narrative had exploded anyway. the industry started to comment. Funklex sent a mysterious tweet. Audio is honest. It's tag killer season. Menno left a remark on a gossip site. I told you to stay out of my lane. Years in the past, even former members of Love and Hip Hop were powerless to resist. A popcorn emoji was submitted by Erica Mina. The tweet from Camilla read, "Not surprised one bit." The surge of reactions did nothing but stoke the flames. The so-called insider disclosures followed. The leaked clip was only the first phase. According to a blogger who claimed to have gotten direct messages from someone close to Cameron. This source claims that Cam possessed hours worth of recordings of previous phone talks and exchanges with Chrissy, which purportedly included lengthy discussions about money, loyalty, and manipulation in addition to dubious remarks. The simple implication: fans went into frenzy when they learned that there were additional cassettes. Jim better brace himself. One fan tweeted, "If this is only the beginning, the next one is going to kill her career." Another added, "Cam." Performing Chrissy, however, said nothing. "He's dropping bombs piece by piece," she said. No Instagram posts, no tweets. Just silence, no words. And that stillness turned into a tale unto itself. She is hiding. Supporters accused her of being guilty. Others stood up for her. She owes us nothing at all. Cam's drama is being devoured by you all like lambs. The silence, however, was short-lived. Late that evening, a purported text exchange between Chrissy and a pal was posted to a site. She is accused of writing, "Cam been holding fans weren't persuaded since the language seemed cautious, almost defensive. He ain't got nothing new. Just old dirt twisted, not even entertaining him." Panicked, others conjectured that the passages might not be authentic. In any case, the story had already gained traction. Chrissy was in a tight spot. The cards were in Cam's hand. Publicly, Kane was falling apart. Then another bombshell emerged, just when the internet felt it had seen enough. A terrifying assertion was shared on Twitter by a new account. A second audio clip that was much longer, clearer, and more harmful. This time, Chrissy supposedly talked about actions she did that Cam knew too much about and Jim wouldn't get. The post concluded with a mysterious caution. The next tape to drop soon. Cam hasn't even begun. The fan base stalled. What would happen if Jim had a breakdown over the first tape? How much more intense could this conflict get? Most significantly, how long until Taipei was pulled into the line of fire itself? There was a cliffhanger. As the Globe prepared for the scandal's second phase, everyone realized it was only going to become more ugly. The next tape was just around the corner. By the time the second bombshell exploded, the dust had hardly settled from the first audio leak. And it wasn't merely conjecture this time. Unquestionably, it was unfiltered and much more deadly than anyone had anticipated. Precisely 11:45 p.m., an enigmatic Twitter account set up just hours ago under the handle tape KZA Chrissy can't ignore. This one, she shared a link with the remark, "This is what Cam was talking about." A 42-second audio clip that was included in the tweet quickly went viral. It was reposted within 10 minutes. Countless times. Additionally, #ChrissyTape2 was trending worldwide before the hour was finished. Compared to the first, the audio was clearer. No cut distortions, no muffled background. The purportedly Chrissy's voice was piercing, blunt, and scathing. "Jim, don't even understand the moves I make. Cam knows what's up," she was heard saying in the video. The entire audience gasped as they realized that Chrissy had reportedly kept Jim out of it for a reason. If he knew, he would ruin it. This wasn't just a nebulous remark about money or maintaining order, admitting that she was purposefully hiding things from Jim while keeping Cam informed about the specifics had harsh ramifications. Was Chrissy telling Cam behind Jim's back? Was she negotiating, using leverage, or worse, betrayals? The internet exploded with memes, reaction videos, and breakdown threads on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. One TikTok went viral, displaying side-by-side clips. Chrissy on Hip Hop and Love, "I keep Jim in check. I'm with him all the time." Followed by the leaked audio where she suggested hiding things from him. The caption read, "The arithmetic ain't calculating." Fans wanted to know how Jim Jones would react when his name trended alongside Chrissy's. Would he continue to support Chrissy as he did following the initial leak, or would he in the meantime came and fuel the flames without uttering a single word by posting a mysterious Instagram story featuring a chessboard with one piece knocked over, with no explanation or caption? Would the second recording finally break him? Fans understood exactly what the image signified, even though Cam was playing the long game and believed Chrissy was already in checkmate. The industry's responses were more explosive than ever. Joe Button stated simply on his podcast, "That's not a good look. Cam is aware that your girl is talking negatively about you and your moves. It's a betrayal. God, Charlemagne Thog, we don't know if it's real, but if it is, Jim got to face some truths." That's a tough pill to swallow. Even hip-hop and love celebs began to weigh in on The Breakfast Club. Yandy shared a tale with the eyes emoji and the remark, "Queens move differently." Fans debated whether that sentence was a jab at Camilla for hours after she tweeted, "Told y'all, but they called me messy." A generic post or Chrissy. In any case, it fueled the flames. When Jim went live again, the turmoil reached a fever pitch, but the tone was different. The flaming rage has vanished. Rather, he spoke in a low, nearly resigned voice and appeared defeated. He stared straight into the camera and muttered, "I see what's going on. Do you guys want me to fold? You all want me to oppose the individuals I care about. I won't give you all the satisfaction though. My wife is Chrissy. My family is that. Whatever tapes Cam has, I don't care. What he plays doesn't matter to me. No, it's real." Fans couldn't help but see the sorrow on his face as he spoke though. His voice cracked, his jaw tensed, and his eyes darted around. It sounded less like a man who was totally in command. It sounded as though the speaker was attempting to persuade himself just as much as the listener. The remarks were harsh. Jim is deceiving himself. He was broken by that tape. He was caught by the throat by Cam. The third hit followed. Screenshots from a purported group chat featuring Dipset associates started to circulate. One individual stated in the texts that Chrissy and Cam had been friends for many years and that Jim ignored it all the time. According to another purported communication, Jim had previously been warned by Cam, but he had never heeded it. Did these screenshots actually exist? No one was aware of them, but they quickly swept social media, dispelling the myth that there was more to. No one ever acknowledged the history between Chrissy and Cam. There was a flurry of theories. Fans said that this was all Cam's retaliation for past feuds. Others conjectured that Cam and Chrissy might have engaged in their own personal business, whether it be financial or otherwise, of which Jim was never involved. Chrissy's stillness became louder every hour. Not even a vague post about haters, no explanations, no denials. Fans were only led to believe the worst as her social media accounts remained a ghost town. The feeling was eloquently encapsulated in one tweet that went viral. "I will speak up right away if someone leaks phony audio about me. Quiet, Chrissy, and that's frightening." Cam, however, leaned farther into the confusion. "Live on Instagram." As people pleaded with him to make the entire tape available, he grinned. He said, "I told y'all," in a cool but acerbic tone. The conversation went crazy. "That was just a snippet. There are hours of this. Y'all ain't even ready." The entire Cam cooking was dropped. Jim finished. Cam didn't move though. He made a terrifying pledge as he concluded the live stream. The following one. The final nail in the coffin is that now the music business was holding its breath. Hip-hop drama and love were no longer the exclusive topics of discussion. This concerned the honesty of one of hip-hop's most recognizable collectives. How much longer before their legacy, music, and brotherhood were affected if Cam and Jim's private lives were collapsing in the public eye? However, the most bizarre twist of all was revealed by an unanticipated voice. In an anonymous interview with a gossip podcast, a purported insider claimed that I had worked closely with Chrissy during her time at Love and Hip Hop. They made a startling assertion in it. She was usually with Chrissy, own plays. She moved the strings, but Jim was the face. Yes, Cam was aware. Jim never understood how much they chatted. The internet was rocked by that statement. It's true, Chrissy wasn't simply concealing secrets. That's for sure. With Cam's knowledge, she was conducting activities behind Jim's back. All of a sudden, Taipei's sense of trust, loyalty, and respect was destroyed. Now, everything was ready for the largest query as of yet. Would Cam make the complete tapes available? Could the bond between Jim and Chrissy, as well as the Dipset Brotherhood itself, withstand the consequences if he did? One last mysterious message was posted by Cam as midnight drew near. "Tomorrow" appeared on a dark screen with white characters, and the world froze. There would be more audio tomorrow. There would be more disclosures tomorrow. The scandal wasn't even going to happen tomorrow. Almost done. Supporters readied themselves. Understanding the third tape has the potential to either validate all suspicions or demolish all that stands in its way. Believed that the phrase tomorrow wasn't merely a hint, but a countdown. The internet went into a speculative frenzy as soon as Kamen published that one message, every fan, blog, and gossip website set midnight alarms on their calendars. Cam's pledge wasn't one more bit of information. The entire tape was there. He also gave Cam single quotes when the clock struck 12. Ron went live. Tens of thousands of people watching rushing in a matter of minutes. His cool, composed visage filled the screen as he sipped from a red cup as if nothing unusual had happened. As fans pleaded with him to play it, he smirked and allowed the excitement to grow while reading through the comments. Then he hit play without warning. A familiar voice opened the recording. Chrissy is undeniable and unmistakable. This time, there was no distortion or muffling. Like a blade slicing through the silence, her words were clear and harsh. I said bluntly to Cam, "Jim, you don't have to know everything." I knew Cam could handle half of the agreements I made. The room fell silent. Jim just gets emotional. That's why I keep it quiet. Cam understands business. Jim doesn't. The audience froze. It was more than just shade. It was more than personal annoyance. Chrissy publicly said that she trusted Cam more than her own man when making judgments. Even worse, she acknowledged purposefully excluding Jim from the conversation. However, it didn't end there. The tape continued to roll. Do you really think I'll mind if Jim finds out? He will not be inactive. Despite his huffs and puffs, he will ultimata lyriquize me. Tam is also aware of it. He allows me to speak in this way because of this. Cam respects authority. Jim simply discusses it. The conversation went haywire. Every second, thousands of comments appeared on the screen. Chrissy is finished. Jim appears frail. Are present. Was Cam the bad guy or the genius? The entire audio was painfully long, 6 minutes. Furthermore, the harm was irreversible by the time it was over. Leaning back, Cam smiled. You all desired the truth. There you have it. I promise not to lie to you all. This is Chrissy in real life. Fans were left in startled silence when he abruptly halted the live stream. The tape was everywhere in a matter of minutes. Every second, Twitter threads are examined. Every frame of the text was broken by Instagram blogs and reaction videos featuring astonished faces posted by TikTokers. Chrissy's uncovered top trending globally. However, Jim Jones himself was the source of the true explosion. Jim went online again within half an hour after the disclosure, and he was angry this time. Do you believe you have me? Do you believe it's gone? Shatter me. You're a clown, Cam. You've performed as a clown. And we're going to talk, Chrissy. One thing though, I'm still here. Let's play with my name, shall we? I have been suppressing this for decades. I am Daipei. Remember that always. His fist slammed on the table as he spoke, his voice breaking with anger. Fans, however, weren't persuaded. Brutally, the comments scrolled. He embarrassed Frissy Live on tape by hurting him. This man is battling ghosts. Then, in an unexpected turn of events, Chrissy finally spoke up. She shared a black background with white lettering on Instagram. People control the story when they are unable to control you. Not everything you hear is true. Love is always victorious. Always prevails. Fans, however, didn't buy it. That's your voice, sis. That is not a story. That's the truth. It doesn't sound like betrayal to love. Thousands of people dragged her for avoiding the problem, turning her comment area into a battleground. Insiders, however, stated that Jim and Chrissy had a screaming argument rather than confronting the tape directly. Match in private. You could hear them through the walls. Jim was yelling. Chrissy was crying. Sounded good, one purported neighbor told a gossip website, like the end of something. The industry itself started to break apart as the firestorm intensified. Affiliates of Dipset began to take sides. Tweeted by Freaky Zeke, some things should have remained. Well, Santana said nothing, but he shared a photo of himself with Jim with the tagline, loyalty over everything. Fans immediately saw it as a jab at Cam, but Daipei wasn't the end of the mayhem. Rappers from all around the world contributed. 50 Cent never passes up the opportunity to engage in trolling. Shared a Jim meme with Snoop Dogg shook his head on Instagram Live saying, "Man, this messy." I don't like it. Cam Wilden, Chrissy Wilden, and Jim captured the caption, "When your girl and your man closer than you think." In the center, the nuclear reaction followed. Alleged court records indicating financial relationships between Chrissy and Cam that Jim was never mentioned on were made public by a third-party site. Real estate transactions, business endeavors, and unreported investments. Were they authentic? Were they made things up? No one was aware. However, the timing was devastating and flawless. Supporters started to wonder if the audio was only the beginning of a much larger betrayal. There were wild theories. Was Chrissy working behind Jim's back for years on a covert project with Cam? Was she being exposed by Cam? Of retaliation or self-defense? Or, as some crazy fans asserted, was this all part of a massive plot to permanently ruin Dipset? Jim spiraled through it all. His posts became increasingly poignant and somber. He remarked on Twitter, "They always want to break a king. However, keep in mind that the king also had warriors." Supporters feared that the circumstances were driving him over the brink. Chrissy, meanwhile, vanished entirely. Just silence, no life, no appearances, no answers. Additionally, the public felt she was more guilty the longer she remained silent. When Cam went live for the last time, the anxiety reached an unmanageable peak. No more tapes were dropped by Key. He failed to produce receipts. Key uttered one terrifying sentence while staring into the camera. "Do you think this is bad? Hold off till the truth is revealed." The internet went down. The actual truth? What could be worse than Chrissy relying on Cam, concealing transactions, and blatantly disparaging Jim on tape? The story wasn't finished if there was more, if Cam was hiding the most sinister card of all. By no means. Cam then put an end to the live stream. That one line and the world was left hanging, no timeline, no additional explanation. Anxious to find out what would happen next, the legacy of Dips was on fire. Chrissy's reputation was in shambles, and Jim's relationship was on the brink of collapse. However, if Cam was telling the truth and a more profound revelation was indeed lurking in the background, the upcoming chapter wasn't simply going to shatter the internet. Now the question was straightforward yet terrifying. Which truth is Cam really holding? And when it does descend, who will be left alive? There you have it. Like never before, the Dipset empire trembled. Cameron is using audio that no one anticipated would ever surface to hold the internet captive. Jim Jones was caught in the middle of Chrissy's flaming reputation crossfire of humiliation, treachery, and explosive secrets that never go away. Here's the problem, though. What we have witnessed thus far is insignificant if Cam is speaking the truth, and an even greater revelation is lurking in the shadows. In contrast to the future, it wasn't over yet. Was just the start. Fans are demanding answers, insiders are murmuring, and the streets are humming. Did Chrissy and Cam spend years building something behind Jim's back? Is Dipset about to go out of business forever? Or is this the best arrangement the hip-hop community has ever witnessed? The next leak is certain to alter everything, regardless of the reality. You can't afford to miss what happens next because of this. Stop what you're doing right now if you've been watching this roller coaster non-stop. Press the like button and share your thoughts. Smash subscribe and leave a comment, because the following audio clip drops as the actual truth is revealed. You'll want to be present as soon as it occurs. Believe me, this tale is not yet finished, and the largest, not even the bombshell has landed yet. Remain locked.